Are you wondering how some investors always seem to stay one step ahead, especially in unpredictable markets like Iraq? While others are hesitant, they're quietly buying in, spotting opportunity where others see only risk. In 2025, the Iraqi stock market is starting to shift, and those who understand what's really happening behind the scenes are already positioning themselves for major gains. In today's video, we're diving deep into what separates successful investors from the rest in Iraq's evolving economy. From banking and infrastructure to telecom and agriculture, you'll hear how the smart money is moving and why now might be one of the most critical windows to pay attention to the ISX. Whether you're new to the market or looking for sharper insight, this is the video that connects the dots. Stay tuned, because what you're about to learn could change the way you see investing in Iraq forever. In today's video, we're diving deep into what separates successful investors from the rest in Iraq's evolving economy. From banking and infrastructure to telecom and agriculture, you'll hear how the smart money is moving and why now might be one of the most critical windows to pay attention to the ISX. Success in the stock market is never just about luck. It's about timing, discipline, research, and the ability to see what others might overlook. In the case of Iraq, where the economic and political climate is often shifting, successful investors are those who not only understand the numbers but also the context of the local news, the regional dynamics, and the long-term potential hidden in short-term instability. In recent months, the Iraqi stock market has seen a quiet but notable shift. With oil prices stabilizing and government efforts to diversify the economy gaining momentum, local and foreign investors are beginning to take a closer look at the Iraq Stock Exchange, or ISX. While still relatively small compared to global markets, the ISX offers unique opportunities for those who understand the nuances of investing in emerging markets. Successful investors in Iraq today are not merely speculating, they are positioning themselves early, recognizing that the biggest gains often come to those who get in before the spotlight hits. In May 2025, the Central Bank of Iraq reaffirmed its commitment to maintaining currency stability and combating inflation. This move, combined with an increase in foreign reserves, has provided a sense of calm to investors. But seasoned market players know that the most important signals don't always come from official press releases. Instead, they're watching the government's push toward economic reforms, particularly in the non-oil sectors like banking, agriculture, and construction. As the government begins implementing more transparent business regulations and fostering public-private partnerships, investors are reading between the lines. Look at the recent surge in interest in Iraqi banks. Over the past quarter, several private banks listed on the ISX have reported improved earnings, supported by increased lending activity and a stronger dinar. The Trade Bank of Iraq and Bank of Baghdad, for instance, have attracted attention from institutional investors in the region, partly due to the government's digitization of financial services and its effort to bring more of the population into the formal banking system. Smart investors are not just buying shares, they're following the money trail created by national policy. And then there's the real estate and construction sector. With the 2025 budget finally passed after months of negotiation, infrastructure projects are once again moving forward. That means contracts, jobs, and revenue, especially for companies involved in cement, steel, and logistics. Successful investors have been quietly accumulating shares in these sectors since early this year, anticipating the return of public spending. They're not reacting, they're predicting. You see, in Iraq, political developments are just as important as economic indicators. When the parliament approved the tripartite budget last year, it gave a 3-year fiscal roadmap that included major capital expenditure. This kind of clarity is rare in volatile regions, and those who paid attention to that development are now reaping the benefits. They didn't just buy on hype, they invested based on structure and planning. Another area where savvy investors are making moves is telecommunications. With Iraq's population becoming increasingly digital, demand for mobile services and internet connectivity is on the rise. Companies like Asiacell and Iraqi Telecom are now more than just phone companies, they are data-driven tech enterprises. Some investors are even eyeing the possibility of future IPOs in the tech space, encouraged by the government's cooperation with international partners to improve ICT infrastructure. But let's be clear, success in Iraq's stock market is not for the impatient or the uninformed. There are still risks. Corruption, political disagreements, and regional tensions remain challenges. However, successful investors mitigate these by diversifying, by understanding the local terrain, and by staying connected to real news, especially news that doesn't always make international headlines. They attend local financial forums, network with Iraqi economists, and track the movements of sovereign funds and private equity groups. They also recognize patterns. For instance, they saw the recent moves by Gulf Cooperation Council nations to increase trade ties with Iraq not just in oil, but also in food security and agriculture. That led some investors to quietly back food processing and agricultural companies listed on the ISX, seeing the potential for export growth and local market expansion. It's about seeing the broader economic picture and knowing when a small, overlooked company could become the next major player in the region. And while many global investors remain cautious due to headlines of conflict or unrest, successful investors look at the numbers. They see that Iraq's GDP growth forecast for 2025 has been revised upwards by international agencies, fueled by both higher oil revenues and progress in non-oil sectors. They know that the dinar has remained relatively stable, and that inflation has been contained despite global economic uncertainty. These are not small achievements for a country that just a decade ago was seen as a high-risk frontier market. Perhaps one of the most telling signs of investor confidence is the growing involvement of the Iraqi diaspora. Many Iraqis living abroad are now channeling funds back into the country, not just through remittances but through structured investments. They're buying shares, they're funding startups, and they're forming partnerships with local entrepreneurs. This hybrid capital, part patriotic, part profit-driven, is another layer of smart money now entering the market. To succeed in Iraq's market today, investors need more than financial models. They need cultural insight, political awareness, and the patience to wait through the noise. Those who have succeeded so far are not always the loudest or the flashiest. They're often quiet, analytical, and focused on fundamentals. They don't chase trends, they anticipate them. And most importantly, they understand that real success in emerging markets like Iraq comes from long-term commitment, not short-term gains. So while many watch from the sidelines, waiting for guarantees, the most successful investors are already planting their flags carefully, quietly, and confidently. They know that every emerging market has its moment. And in 2025, as Iraq stands at the crossroads of reconstruction and economic rebirth, they believe that moment is now. So, as you've seen, successful investors in Iraq's stock market aren't just guessing, they're reading the signs, analyzing the trends, and thinking long-term. They know that risk is part of the game, but with the right knowledge and timing, the rewards can be significant. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on Iraq's evolving financial landscape. Drop a comment below. What sectors do you think are prime for growth in Iraq? Are you investing already, or still watching from the sidelines? Thanks for watching, and remember, in emerging markets, fortune favors the informed.